Did Chrissy look familiar before she was crumpled up? Does a cleaned-up Vecna seem like someone you've seen before? From Twilight to Game of Thrones to Nightmare on Elm Street, here's where you've seen the new Stranger Things cast before. Arguably the most meaningful addition to the Stranger Things roster of characters in Season 4 is Eddie Munson, the denim-wearing, hard-rocking king of Hawkins High School's Hellfire Club. Due to a series of unfortunate circumstances, Eddie ends up blamed for the murder of Chrissy Cunningham, forcing him to run for his life. His predilections for heavy metal and Dungeons & Dragons make him an easy scapegoat for the town's anxiety, a scenario not unheard of in reality's version of the Satanic Panic that occurred in the 80s and 90s. Making matters worse for Eddie, he soon finds himself thrown into a world of danger, demons, and alternate dimensions. Joseph Quinn brings Eddie Munson to life in Stranger Things 4 and does a fantastic job in the role, channeling a mania that brings a distinctly new kind of energy to the Hawkins gang. A British actor, Quinn has played major roles in the BBC series Dickensian and Les Miserables, as well as Howard's End on Starz. He's also appeared in HBO's Catherine the Great and played a minor role in a Season 7 episode of Game of Thrones.
It's very metal what you did, that's all I'm saying.
The yin to Eddie Munson's yang, Jason Carver is the golden boy of Hawkins, Indiana. The captain of the basketball team and an orator of many lightly biblical speeches, Jason's life takes a dark turn when his longtime girlfriend, Chrissy Cunningham, is brutally murdered. Believing Eddie to be the perpetrator, Jason and his crew of teenage athletes begin investigating and deploying their own disturbing brand of vigilante justice. Jason's heart might start off in the right place, but he gets sucked into a dangerous breed of fear-mongering. Actor Mason Dye already had an impressive resume of TV roles before landing the part of Jason in Stranger Things. You may know him as Tom Galligan in Bosch, Damon from Finding Carter, or Garrett from Season 4 of the 2011 Teen Wolf reboot. Dye has also been featured prominently in a couple of web series, such as Secret Diary of an American Cheerleader and Roommates. What's Jonathan Byers to do after moving far away from his childhood home and girlfriend to finish up high school in sunny California, make a new stoner friend, and start getting high? Of course. Jonathan's new predilection for cannabis is the source of some great comedic moments in Stranger Things 4, as is his new best friend, Argyle. From his extra long hair and his love of recreational drugs to his job as a pizza delivery driver, Argyle is the complete California stereotype hand-rolled into one chilled-out package.
Why don't you just go to the van and do your thing? Huh? Purple Palm Tree Delight.
If you've seen 2019's Booksmart, then you're already familiar with Eduardo Franco's unique brand of comedy. In the Olivia Wilde-directed teen comedy, Franco plays Theo, a character who bears a striking similarity to Argyle. Franco is also featured in movies like The Binge and Superintelligence from 2020, as well as 2021's We Broke Up. Franco previously got major screen time on Netflix as Spencer Diaz in American Vandal, in addition to other TV appearances on Adam Ruins Everything, Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything, and Gabby's Dollhouse, among others. After entering the secret site of the Nina Project, Eleven takes a journey into her memories, specifically some of her most traumatic days as a test subject of Dr. Martin Brenner. Within those memories, she re-encounters Peter, an assistant to the good doctor who seems at first to have her best interests at heart. But Peter contains multitudes. IMDb describes him as friendly, orderly, and Peter, even though that isn't his original name. It isn't long before his involvement in the greater story of the show comes rolling out in a series of wild twists and turns. Jamie Campbell Bower does a phenomenal job blending the creepy and the calm in his performance as Peter, aka One, aka Henry Krill, and aka Vecna. Bower is perhaps best known for his career on the big screen, which includes the role of Caius in the Twilight films and the role of Anthony in Tim Burton's 2007 adaptation of Sweeney Todd. He's also appeared in films like Rock'n'Rolla, London Boulevard, and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, in which he played a young version of the title villain. On TV, Bower has appeared in shows like Camelot, Will, and 2009's The Prisoner. The protagonists of Stranger Things face many different enemies in Season 4, from the supernatural to the mundane. One of the bigger foes of the season is Lieutenant Colonel Sullivan, a military man who believes that Eleven is a threat to U.S. national security and therefore must be apprehended and possibly killed. Sullivan deploys some pretty reprehensible tactics to accomplish his mission, proving himself to be more than capable as one of the show's main bad guys. It's possible that you'd recognize actor Sherman Augustus from his brief career in the NFL, but it's more likely that you know him from one of his many film and TV roles. A second-degree black belt in Taekwondo, Augustus starred in some major on-screen fights as Nathaniel Moon in AMC's Into the Badlands. His other projects include What's Love Got to Do with It?, Rumpelstiltskin, The Mexican, and Zigzag. In addition to Stranger Things and Into the Badlands, Augustus's TV resume includes similar roles like Marshall Pruitt in Westworld and the role of Benjamin Caffrey on Dexter. Much of the mystery of Stranger Things 4 revolves around Victor Creel, the man convicted of brutally murdering his family decades earlier. In the episode titled Chapter 4, Dear Billy, Nancy and Robin interview Victor about his experience in the hopes of putting together a strategy against Vecna's attacks, and they don't leave disappointed. Victor tells them the full story of what really happened to him at his family's seemingly haunted home, setting the rest of the story in motion. Given that Stranger Things Season 4 pulls heavily from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, it makes sense that the creators wanted to get a proper cameo from Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund. In addition to playing one of cinema's most infamous slashers for decades, Englund also had prominent roles in a number of genre films and in TV series like Fear Clinic, Downtown, and the original V miniseries from 1983. He's also an accomplished voice actor, with credits that include Antipops on Regular Show, Vulture on The Spectacular Spider-Man, and Athrak in Dota: Dragon's Blood. After all she went through at the end of Stranger Things Season 3, Max Mayfield has more than a little bit of trauma to work through. It's not every day that you see your stepbrother torn to pieces by an otherworldly monster. Max ends up in sessions with Miss Kelly, the counselor at Hawkins High. Though she doesn't exactly play a central role in the story, Miss Kelly appears in a number of scenes and unwittingly gives Max and the crew the key to part of Vecna's mystery. Miss Kelly is played by Regina Ting Chen, a prolific actor in the TV space. In addition to a variety of small TV roles, her biggest credits include the role of Chandler Tong in Black Lightning, Catherine Nakai in Queen of the South, and Dr. Julia Cho in Woke. To put it mildly, Jim Hopper has a bad time in Stranger Things Season 4. He's captured by Soviet soldiers, brutally tortured, and stuck on an icy chain gang with no clear means of escape. Fortunately, he ends up making an ally in Dimitri, a guard who agrees to help Hopper get away in the hopes of a major payday. Things don't exactly go as planned, and Hopper and Dimitri are forced to get to know each other and work together in a number of dangerous situations. Their dynamic is fun to watch throughout, and Dimitri provides a nice counter to Hopper's grim persona. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, then you'll probably recognize actor Wlaschiha as the mystical assassin Jaqen H'ghar on HBO's blockbuster fantasy series. Well, at least he plays the most memorable version of Jaqen, a shapeshifter who repeatedly changes faces over the course of the story. You may also remember him as Sebastian Berger from the crime drama series Crossing Lines, or as Max Schenkel in Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. In order to get to Russia and help break Hopper free, Joyce and Murray employ the skills of a smuggler named Yuri. Jovial and silly at first, Yuri quickly reveals himself to be a tricky man with a lot of hidden intentions up his sleeve. Equally wacky and deceptive in nature, Yuri is a bit of a loose cannon, and he brings a frenetic energy to Stranger Things Season 4's Soviet plotline.
I'm sorry, poor bird. Did I make your coffee too strong?
Serbian actor Nikola Djuricko brings Yuri to life in Stranger Things, and his acting resume is quite a long one. Much of his work prior to appearing in the Netflix series is on various Serbian TV shows such as Open Doors, Frozen Stiff, and The Storks Will Return. American audiences may know him as Darko in Angelina Jolie's In the Land of Blood and Honey, Tamir on the TNT show Legends, and Laura Gramos on the BBC miniseries Informer. Djuricko has also appeared in projects like World War Z and For All Mankind. The first episode of Stranger Things 4 focuses largely on Chrissy Cunningham, a new character and member of the Hawkins High cheerleading squad. Chrissy is the first target of Vecna, who subjects her to a series of horrifying nightmare visions that drive her to buy drugs from Eddie Munson. Unfortunately, she doesn't even get an attempt at respite before Vecna returns in full ghastly force, setting up the major events of the season. Chrissy is played by Grace Van Dien, who Netflix viewers might recognize as Brooke Osmond from the teen drama series Greenhouse Academy. She also had a major role as Katie Campbell on NBC's The Village. Additionally, she's had sizable roles in movies like Riding Faith and The Binge. Van Dien has appeared on a number of other TV series, including The Rookie, A Moral Compass, and White Famous. When Jason Carver begins his vigilante quest to hunt down Eddie Munson, he brings a whole crew of his friends and Hawkins High teammates with him. Most of these characters don't get much in the way of lines or screen time, the one exception being Patrick, who ends up a little more important to the show than the rest of the pack. Sadly, Patrick gets targeted by Vecna later in the season, leading to a brutal lake confrontation. Patrick might not get a lot in the way of character development, but he does play an important role in one of the most memorable scenes of Stranger Things 4. Though he's still quite young, actor Myles Truitt already has a number of major credits to his name in addition to his role as Patrick in Stranger Things. You may recognize him as B. Mickey from the Starz series BMF, as Ant on Ava DuVernay's Queen Sugar, or as Issa Williams on Black Lightning. Truitt also appeared in shows like Superstition and movies like Dragged Across Concrete. One of Vecna's many teenage targets in Stranger Things 4 is Fred, Nancy's second-in-command at the Hawkins High School newspaper. Fred investigates the murder of Chrissy Cunningham with Nancy, hoping to uncover something that the town's adult media outlets might have missed. Unfortunately for him, he gets distracted by a series of visions sent straight from the Upside Down that conjure up memories of a traumatic car accident from his past. With no prior experience with the supernatural, Fred is understandably unable to fend off Vecna's psychic assault.
I want you to join me.
The actor behind Fred is Logan Riley Bruner, who you might know as Lance from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Bruner's other credits include a part in Natalie Portman's Vox Lux and the Netflix film Alex Strangelove. He's also contributed brief turns on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and Orange is the New Black. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite characters are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.